Rolling? Yeah. Okay, everyone. This is our last weekend.
Yeah.
Oh, right. So, how long have we been at it with the cosmic laws? It's been since last October.
Yeah, it's almost months, isn't it?
Right. So this weekend we are wrapping it up. Today we've got the principle of cause and effect, which is going to change. Look on the board what it says. The principle of cause and response. Okay, and there's a reason why we're doing that. We are changing the law, baby. Right? So we're going to change it. And synchronistically, today is a match-up the way that it's a match-up with the original order. So it is supposed to be the 6th law, and today is the 6th day for us as well. And it matched up. And I haven't looked into why that is, because we looked into why they weren't matching up for all the other ones. But I didn't look into how come this one matches, so perhaps we can do that afterwards. Alright? So, let's get cracking with today. Today is cause and effect, or cause and response, and tomorrow is mentalism. So, according to this law, everything happens according to this law. Everything, absolutely everything. There is no such thing as chance, and the Hermeticists, they have methods of rising above the ordinary plane of cause and effect, and that really is the point of all of our laws, actually. Some of them are to modify them, some of them it's to rise above them, you know, whatever it is. But this one definitely is a good one. The masses of people, that is most of people, are carried along by this law, obedient to the environment, obedient to whatever it is that's going on outside of themselves, or perhaps being influenced by other people. Yeah? So that's what's going on for the masses. The wills and desires of others are stronger than themselves, or so most people believe, right? Hereditary, suggestion, and other outward causes, moving them about like pawns on the chessboard of life. So do you want to be a pawn, or do you want to be a player? Player. We want to be players, babies. Okay, but the masters, they will rise above this plane, they will rise and dominate their moods, they will dominate what it is that's going on, and become movers instead of the pawns. So that really is not just the objective of the cosmic law ceremonies and the law of cause and effect today, but generally it is the intent and the purpose of all of Fusion 7 healing work. It's to make you guys the movers instead of the pawns. Okay? So, they help or assist to play the game of life instead of being played and moved by the will and the environment. It's funny that, because we did TCM last weekend, and it was very much about how the environment has an effect on us. But it's also the ability to be able to move and play with the environment too. Not just the fact that it dominates us, but how it is that we remove those dominant effects. So it kind of overlaps to what we did last week as well. And so we use this principle, instead of being its tool, we use it as a tool to assist us in life. The master obeys the causation of the higher planes, but they help to rule their own planes. And that, guys, is the objective specifically of what it is that we're going to do today. Okay? So, cause and effect, there's another really important part of cause and effect, and that is its sub-laws. And the majority of people are more familiar with the sub-laws than the actual law of cause and effect. Do you know what the sub-laws are of cause and effect? Karma is one of them. Yeah, how long? Attraction, yeah, the law of attraction. What else? Similar to attraction? Magnetism. Magnetism and attraction are almost like one of the same, almost. And there's one more that's close to karma. Yeah, that's kind of connected to the karmic stuff. But what else? There's one other real fundamental big one that's connected to karma, that's also under the umbrella of cause and effect. Anyone? So these are all sub-laws that are governed and dominated by cause and effect. And at some point during our day, we do have a specific formula and process that's within the ceremony that addresses these particular sub-laws, because they're actually very, very important, because they are so dominating everything that everybody is doing on this planet. Yeah? So that's flows. And we're going to discuss those as well before we go into it, because they're very, very important, like the magnetism, attraction, karma and time. Do we know how these are dominating us, roughly? How are they dominating us, those laws?
Well, I think we get brought up with the idea that, you know, when you do something, it comes back and finds you.
Yeah.
So it's kind of embedded in our everyday life. So we always say, "Oh, if you do this thing, we're coming back to you with the arse." So everything we say relates to that. So I think that's another one thing.
Definitely, and karma also, it's a big part of many religions around the world. Okay, but the way that we see, if we want to be like players on the chessboard, so to speak, you cannot just pass the buck and say, "Oh, feito karma mo," yeah, or it's because of my destiny, it's because of my fate. These are all karma links, these words that I've said, fate and destiny. Now, I'm not saying that there isn't a larger plan that is dominant in the whole of this game. However, we do have a large say in how we can change those things. Yeah? And of course, when we know our metaphysics and we know our alchemy really well, then we are in a very, very strong position to be able to make changes on something that the majority of humanity thinks that there is no change. So they pass the buck. So when they pass the buck, then what happens? It means that the cause, it means that the effect of the situation is out of your hands, because it's effect. Okay? But if it's response, then I am taking the responsibility and I am moving according to what's happened. I have the relevant response. So effect is a bit of a connotation that kind of tells us things are out of our hands and it's just the way it is. That's the effect. Yeah? But a response, it's your responsibility to respond to the cause. Does that make sense? That's why we kind of changed the word. So, right? So that's a little bit about karma. How's time related to karma?
Cycles,
what goes around comes around. I mean, time itself is an enormous subject, and I've done loads of work on time. We've done time in karma and reincarnation science in that particular class, but it does come up in various pieces of our classes.
Because in essence, like in time, when we say it's like karma, because you've done something, you need to pay back for what you've done, so you need to reincarnate and get in the time loop to actually...
That's right.
Yeah.
It's like a false matrix, yeah, it's like a time loop, yeah. And I brought this up, I think it was one of the groups on Facebook, and there was a bit of a heated discussion with it, because time is a big thing. You've got linear time, non-linear time, time-space, space-time, no time, all of these things. And it's all going on because we've created it to be so, and we have to know how to function as non-linear beings in a linear time construct. That's what we live in. You know, you've got to be here at this time, this is your lifespan, everything is time, yeah? And so, yes, we need it, but we need to know how to play it, yeah? We need to have time on our side than chasing our tails because of time, yeah? Oh, my age, oh, I can't do this because I'm this age now, and I'm going to die now, and I can't have babies now, and I'm too young, and I'm too old. And, you know, how many people with issues like this come in for sessions? Loads, right? So that is the time construct. Magnetism and attraction, we've got a big problem there, and I think even though the law of attraction has been a massive springboard to allow people to become more aware of stuff, it's actually beginning to crumble in a way. Not the actual law, but what I mean is that a lot of people are applying very simplistic ways of trying to use the law of attraction, and they're falling flat on their asses because they're only touching the tip of the iceberg and not what's underneath. What's underneath? Cause and effect and the cosmic laws. Because it's only a sub-law of one of the laws of the cosmic laws. So how can you take that and make it God? Do you know what I mean? Which is what's happened. And like I said, it's a good thing. However, it's starting to have a knock-on effect, and people are coming through and they're going, oh, the law of attraction doesn't work. Why isn't the law of attraction working for me? And well, this is why. Right, so I wanted to touch on the sub-laws real quick because I think it's really, really important. And how are we doing for time, babe? What's the time we've got there? 11? Cool. All right, so today is very much about Dart, okay, which is the 11th Sephirah. It's called a pseudo Sephirah, actually. Like, a lot of people don't consider it to be real, but it couldn't be more real than what it is. And I think we've already experienced how and why that could be. So we get into that into a second. Yes, Dart. Yeah. Right. So what I want to say about Dart right now is that it actually emerges from the union of Chokmah and Bina, which is the upper triad of the Tree of Life. It's actually born of those. And it is the sun of wisdom and intelligence. It's also the entry and exit point to the dark part of the tree or the clip-off. It's also very much connected to the sacrum area, yeah, because in actual fact, if you look up here, the hermetic diagram is the one that is essential nature, and that's the second one. It's connected to the sacrum, actually, yeah. So, to Yesod on the Tree of Life, specifically. But we're actually looking up here, but it's also connected to down here as well. Why is it connected to Yesod? Sorry? Foundation is a little bit lower. Yesod is the one that's connected to your sacrum.
Something to do with birth, with feminine.
Yeah, I've never looked at it like that, but that's definitely a possibility for sure. Yeah, but it's also connected to some dark energies in that region as well. Right? It's connected also originally to some lunar energies, and it's also an entry and exit point, like you mentioned. So that's why there's a connection there. So we're going to be emphasising darts quite a little bit today. It's a strong connection to cause and effect. Then for our tarot, we've got Queen of Cups because she is the pure force of water and emotion and extraordinary insight. We've got the King of Wands because the King of Wands is about being able to take action, but the King of Wands, we need to sort him out a little bit because he can be quite dominant and forceful and take power for granted. So those are traits that we need to adjust within ourselves, yeah? And also the Empress is connected to this day. She's unconditional love, however, she can also smother as well. So that can create an effect to offspring karmically, because people can come away with issues when they're smothered by their mother. Yeah, so she comes up as well in this one. The Clipothic shadow veils, Ein Sof, which is limitless nothing, because we started the veils last time when you guys weren't here. And the shadow side of Ein Sof is Sof Belial, which means without God or without primary source. So that basically means atheist. But it's not so much atheist, it's not believing in anything. So that would be the shadow side of that particular veil. And we go into that. Now there's a weird